All right, let's get a read on this and how far this is going and how agitated it is remaining and building. GOP pollster Lee Carter, Democratic strategist Howard Franklin, and Patrice Leon-Wuka with the Independent Women's Forum. Patrice, and would you begin with you? What do you think of all this?
Oh, it's insane. I mean, I think it's so disrespectful, number one, for these protesters to start moving to Secretary Nielsen's home. And what's interesting is one of the protesters, or the hecklers, I should call them, from maybe Thursday evenings or Tuesday evening's dinner, works for the DOJ. And she said not only does she not apologize for what she's doing, but she's trying to inspire other people to do the same. So whenever you see someone, particularly in the Trump administration, with whom you disagree, go after them and heckle them. That is not really for policy change. That's really just about getting name recognition and media headlines.
Well, I'm not going to get into their motives, what's going on. Lee Carter, how does this all factor out, you think, in the public side?
Listen, I'm really disturbed for the Republican Party right now. I think that the Republican Party right now is on the wrong side of history right now, and they should be doing everything they can to make this right. And that does not include the president sending out tweets that says, do not work together to get this fixed. We should have a zero-tolerance policy on all of this behavior. People have a right to be outraged. I think a lot of independent voters right now are going to scratch their head and say, I'm not so sure I can back a Republican if they're not willing to make a deal here. 80% of Americans want immigration reform done, bipartisan immigration reform.
And they're hanging it on the Republicans, Lee?
If the Republicans aren't going to come to the table and say, we're going to work with you now, I know that the Democrats have been the party of resist. That's been their problem. The Republicans can't do that now. They've got to own this right now and fix it.
But they need Democrats to help them fix it, right?
They absolutely do. But they can't just sit there and say, you know what, we're not going to do anything.
Right,
they should be putting stuff out there. They should be saying that they were wrong here.
You know, Howard, one thing I've discovered is there's a lot of wrong and vitriol on both sides here. And I get the sense that they've really cemented in their positions here. I had a conversation yesterday with California Democratic Congressman Eric Swalwell that illustrated the point that they just cannot meet eye to eye. I don't know if we have tape of that. Do we, Sam? I want you to react to this because I think it serves as sort of like the backdrop for this, where neither side talks or even likes the other. React to this. 1 second.
I think he's a cruel, cold con artist who only changed the policy because people,
and you
Republicans and Democrats, spoke up.
You want to negotiate with that man and say he's a cold, cruel con artist. You called me that, Congress. I tell you, I'm not going to negotiate Twinkies with you. You know, that's what hurts the debate, right?
Neil, this man, it cruelly separated kids from their parents, put them in cages, and now wants a medal because he reversed the policy?
He doesn't want to know, and he reversed himself, and he gave ground on something, and I think there's a lot of common ground here and all, but it can't be had when both sides are calling each other names, and you were calling what you just did. Those are not nice words. You know, Howard Franklin, one of the things he left out is that he thinks the president hates kids. And, of course, the president has kids, has grandkids. So I just think when you're jumping the shark when you make that argument. And I've heard similar disparaging comments out of some Republicans and all that. But what it tells me, no matter whose side you're on or whose side you're sympathetic to, we're not going to get anything done, to Lee Carter's point. And I wonder whether this serves anybody just doing this stuff.
I agree with you in part. I think this president has led with hyperbole, right? Not only.
What did you think of that congressman's language?
Well,
he's a con artist.
He's one out of 435 members of Congress. Is not speaking for the entirety of the party.
There are others like him.
I don't disagree for even a moment, but I do think that this president set the tone, both as a candidate for president, calling out his 16 opponents in the Republican primary process, as well as from the White House, saying all sorts of things.
So you're laying it on the president. You know, he's, you know, you see where this is going, guys? And Patrice, this is the one thing I want to explore.
Yeah.
There is common ground on a lot of these issues, more than people are being made aware of. But we're never going to find it in this environment. And to Lee's point, because Republicans are in charge, they have the run of the table, the House, the Senate, the presidency. Are people going to come back at the president, come back at Republicans and say, you botched it, guys?
I actually do think they will. I mean, next week's vote needs to happen to stave off that discharge petition that really made Republicans come to the table and figure out something on immigration. You know, I think, though, when it comes to border security, I think Republicans and Democrats agree that we can secure our borders. I think everyone agrees that we need to reform our immigration system to make it easier, or at least more transparent, the process to be able to come here. Speaking as an immigrant myself, I certainly understand that position. Now they're going going to be areas for disagreement, but there's got to be a way to move forward. And it is true that Republicans will have to answer to why weren't we able to, or why weren't they able to come together and figure something out.
Yeah, but Democrats have to answer to just lifting their finger and helping out, right? I mean,
Neil,
both sides, right?
To that point, Neil, I mean, I think you can find Democrats and Republicans who agree that building a wall for $25 billion is not going to address our immigration problem. And I think that's a big part of what the issue is.
Well, we can get into the particulars of it, but I do agree with you this way. There are Democrats and Republicans who do want to work together and don't want to play these childish games. They're just, kowtowing to the extremes of their base who aren't letting them do so. But it's dangerous, and it's getting physically dangerous now. Guys, I want to thank you all very, very much. Be safe. Have a great weekend. Meanwhile,